Hi there, Dead Ideal Boy here, back with another video, and in this one you're going to see some good racing, along with a couple of incidents which I would really love your opinions on in the comments section. One where I am pretty sure I'm in the wrong, and the other one where I get dive bombed, and I just want to know what you think about moves like that in general. Also, let me know what you think about daily races having setups on them. Daily race C requires a setup this week, so does daily race B. And for a 5 lap sprint race, I don't think that that is ever necessary. Just let us jump in and have a race. But I might be in the minority. I'd love to know in the comments what you think. And while you're here, while you're in the comments section, while you're watching the video, hit the subscribe button. Please do so. It would help us get to 10,000 subscribers one day. We're not that far off, but we could be doing with your help to get there, and it would be much appreciated if you did. But enough of that. Let's jump into the race, and hopefully you'll enjoy. Hi there, Dead Ideal Boy here, back with another video, and this time we're at Daily Race B. It's Group 3, it's Suzuka, and it's a 5 lap race, which for some reason we need a setup for. Now, I'm going to get into that in a little moment. You can see me frantically here, trying to put a setup on the car before the race starts, because unless you've joined the lobby, matchmaking lobby, well in advance, you've not really got time to do this until the actual lobby opens up, and then you've got about 20 seconds to try and put a setup on your car. And you can see there, I literally just got it done with about a second to spare. But anyway, I'll talk more about that in just a second, but sorry for starting off in a kind of bit of a ranty mode there. But if you can subscribe to the channel, you'll hear a lot more of my rants, as well as some positivity, some good racing, and hopefully enjoyable videos and live streams. So if you've not already subscribed, then please do so. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're desperately trying to get to 10,000 subscribers one day, and maybe if that happens, my wife will allow me to do this more seriously. But anyway, that's just a pipe dream. We'll get there maybe one day, or not, who knows. It's a fun journey anyway, and you can help me by hitting that subscribe button. Anyway, that's enough of the beg. So, as I was saying, Daily Race B is a 5 lap sprint race, and for some reason we need a setup on this car. Now, you might think you don't need a setup. Trust me, you do. I was doing a bit of time trial before I did this race, and the best I could do with no setup on the car was a mid 201, and I was scratching my head. I couldn't understand why I was so slow when Suzuka's normally a decent track for me, a decent combination in Group 3. I couldn't understand why I was so slow. Then I noticed that setups were on, and immediately I was about to actually just switch off and not even bother doing the race. But I put a tweet out kind of moaning about the fact that there was a setup required for Daily Race B. One of our subscribers, John in 60 Seconds his name is, a really fast guy from the UK, young guy, kindly sent me over a setup. But just here, look at this big moment in the race coming up here. As you can see, the RTR driver in the Merc just drifted slightly wide and got his tyres a little bit dirty, giving us an opportunity. First race, first lap, and we've managed to send it into the Casio Triangle and come out in first place. Now, that was a big move for me. I certainly wasn't planning on doing it. I was just trying to get settled into the race, settled into the car. It's racing hard tyres, they're not getting the most grip on them. So yeah, I was kind of all over the place. You can see he tries to send it back round the outside though, but he just overshoots the mark and ends up in a horrible situation out there in turn 1 where you've got no grip. And if you don't ease off the throttle, you will just spin the car. So that's effectively the RTR driver out of this race. So just now, I'm leading the race. I've got a quick Porsche behind me, and yeah, the sweaty palms start, the nerves start to creep in, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can see me here, just in my anywhere. I would rather be anywhere else but leading a race this early on. I want to lead a race basically out of the last corner, where the finish line is in sight, and there's nothing else that can happen to me. But I've got basically 4 laps to try and hold off somebody who's probably a bit quicker than me, which, as I said, not my comfort zone. But we'll try, we'll see what we can do. back to my rant about the setup. So we got a setup sent over, and as I said, it's required because literally 2 laps of using the setup, I had knocked almost a second off my lap time. Now, that's not an insignificant amount. We're not talking a couple of tenths. We're talking the best part of a second. And I know I can go quicker because that was only, you know, the time that I had to spare before getting into this race. So if I put my mind to it, I know that I could get a mid to low 2-minute flat, possibly sneak into the 59s. It's a possibility with a setup on. I had no chance without that setup. You can see me there though, going a bit deep into the Casio triangle. That's the nerves. That's the constantly looking down in the bottom right of my screen to see that radar and to check how close the driver behind was. I could see from the Delta though, there was literally nothing in it, and we're going to go almost side by side into turn 1 here. And it's really just about giving him space on the outside, which we do. You can see that. Very clean driver though, as you can see. Not being overly aggressive. Understood here that going into the left, going into the right, that sticking your nose in does not help any of us. And he plays it safe. He probably knows he's a little bit quicker and he's going to just hold off and hopefully get a better opportunity. It's really difficult to pass without making some sort of contact that ends up in somebody leaving the track when you're going round the S's there. But you can see that radar, and I'll tell you something right now, for the majority of this race I was looking at that radar because of how close the person behind was, and I really didn't want to cut across them, you know, accidentally turn into them when they were there. So I was just very, very mindful of that. You can see here we're coming up to the hairpin, and we're just going to go around it and just ease off on the accelerator coming out. Now, the GTR wasn't the best coming out of that hairpin. The Porsche definitely had an acceleration advantage in that respect. So if I knew that if I could keep ahead after this hairpin, then it would be difficult for him to get past on the rest of the lap. Round spoon though, we're just going to get up onto the curb on the exit a little bit too much here. You can see that there, and I almost lose it as the right rear hits the AstroTurf, and I had to come off the accelerator. Now that is crucial because now he's got a run on me and I'm going to have to stay to the left. Now I was looking at the radar here and he moves to the right, and I think I've given him enough space here, but there's a little bit of contact. We kind of survive it, he kind of survives it, and we're going to live to fight another day. But I wasn't really sure what had happened there because I was quite confident that I'd given him enough space on the outside, and I was also quite confident that he wasn't going to try and go for a move round the outside of 130R. So all in all, I was fairly satisfied that I was in the right there, that I hadn't done anything wrong, and that maybe he'd just kind of overshot it a little bit and got onto the curb or the AstroTurf and had to ease off, hence him backing off. But he's back, he's still right with us. You can see him in the radar, you can see from the Delta he's never been more than a couple of tenths behind until that point, but he's now quickly caught back up with us, which is a surefire sign that he's got more pace than us. But getting past is another matter, especially in Suzuka, because it's quite a good track if you're able to defend on. You can put your car in the right spots, makes it very difficult, and the GTR does have a speed advantage on the straight. So I knew that if I could just keep the car ahead, then that would be the kind of job done. You can see I've just went purple as well, so I'm now in the process of setting the fastest lap. Again, that kind of distracted me a little bit, and it distracted me to the point where I just lost it. I lost the rear end coming out of the accelerator. I tried to put the foot down too aggressively, and yeah, that was it. Into the barrier, a 1.5 second penalty, and then swallowed up by the mid-pack, which was absolutely heartbreaking. I was absolutely gutted. I thought I was just going to jump on, start P2, win the race. I thought, brilliant, this will make a really nice video actually showing me getting a win, which we don't see very often in videos, and yeah, it would be a one and done kind of day. So yeah, I was happy with that. And then disaster strikes because me leading a race is just, yeah, it's not the done thing. Overtaking there, getting into 130R, he makes a little bit of contact with me, which almost sent me off, but we'll give him a the benefit of the doubt on that one. because, well, 130R can be a little bit tricky when you're approaching it at speed with a car considerably slower. But this is when you know it's not your day. You're coming round Spoon and there's a car that's been off the track, ghosted, and then unghosted right at the point where I was about to enter him and drive through him, but no, I ended up bump drafting him. So yeah, you just know it's not your day when that kind of thing happens. And you also know it's not your day when the two cars in front of you run wide, going down into the Casio Triangle, and you see the opportunity here, so you go up the inside, and then he turns into you as if you're not there. Unsettles my car, he flies back across with a terrible rejoin, but it unsettled my car to the point where, again, I got swallowed up by the cars behind and end up coming across the line for, let's face it, a very disappointing P8, considering we had potential victory in our grasp. Now, this was the incident with the Porsche behind that I wanted to show you, because you can see here it was completely my fault. I thought I had given him more room than that when I clearly hadn't, and I almost sent him off the track, so apologies to the Porsche driver there. And this was the incident towards the end when he just turned into me, the Peugeot driver, as if I wasn't there, and then made an absolute mess of the rejoin. So hands up to the first one, that was my fault, and in hindsight, karma made me spin out and crash that one. On to the second race though, and I just want to show you this incident here where the Porsche driver almost ends my race with an absolute dive bomb into the Spoon. Now, again, at the time when you're racing, you think, you're not sure, you think, did I do something wrong? But you can see here, karma once again in full effect sees him meeting his maker at the pit wall entrance, so that was quite satisfying. And again, coming into the Casio Triangle, we once again get hit in the braking zone, and again we leave the track and lose position. So it was a frustrating time all round with these races. We eventually come across the line for this one in P7, so again, very frustrating. We did go on to have quite a good race the third race after that, but it was quite uneventful. We just kind of held our position in P7 for a lot, and then ended up finishing P5. But here, I want to just show you this incident again. You can see here, he's into the braking zone, he's got no right to go into the closing gap, and it's the way he just pushes me off onto the AstroTurf that really irritated me, because yeah, that was just, there was no need for it. He could have given me space if he was going to go for the move, but it was just a bit of a, well, dirty dive bomb, to be perfectly honest with you. But this was sweet. You see him losing it into the pit wall entrance and having to do the 15-point turn just to get back on the track. So that was a particularly sweet sight. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed my rants, don't judge me on it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, help us get to 10k one day, and hopefully I'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye.